happens is some of that moisture starts to ride up. We call it overrunning, up and over the front, and we get some warmer air in the midsections of the atmosphere, and we get freezing rain. So that's what we're seeing right now around Dayton, Ohio, and Pittsburgh, and back toward Indianapolis, Cincinnati, St. Louis. It is a mess out there on the roadways. Numerous accidents reported along Interstate 77 through West Virginia. To the north of that, it's still cold enough. We're getting snows, and plenty of snow that's happening right now around the New York City area. Around LaGuardia Airport, we've had reports of as much as 4 inches of snow. Allentown, or 5 inches, I should say. Allentown, Pennsylvania, about 5 inches of snow as well. Boy, it is a mess out there. And we've got a lot of cold air to contend with as well. Around Seattle, 24 degrees this morning. That was a record low for you. California rains. Boy, we've had it. Around Long Beach. This is in the last 30 hours. We've had as much as 1.5 inches of rain. Los Angeles picked up about 1.25 inches of rain, and heavy snows continue. As I mentioned, here's a list, folks. Anywhere from Madison with 3 inches, 3 inches in the Chicago area, right on up to New York City with 5 inches. Let's take you on with a look at what's going on the current weather map. We've got a lot of freezing rain out there. Areas in orange indicate freezing rain from around Hagerstown, Maryland, where we have winter storm warnings, actually winter storm warnings in effect from New York City and Boston down through Providence and even on into Philadelphia today. Very nasty conditions, nasty roadways out there to contend with. Here is the current radar satellite composite. You can see all the moisture streaming on to the east, and as that warm, moist air is working its way on in, a lot of places changing over to freezing rain. Freezing rain band basically right now is from around, if you do a line from around Dayton, out to Indianapolis, down through central parts of Illinois, around Decatur, St. Louis, and even down towards Chanute and Oklahoma City. That is all freezing rain. To the north of that line is snow and heavy snows around New York City. But unfortunately, what's going to happen as we head through time is we're going to see some of that freezing rain start to work its way up and over some of that snow that has fallen around New York City. So it could be just a nasty mess around the New York City area later on today. We'll take a look at the radar shots right now, and you can see still some moisture left over across parts of Arizona, still raining lightly around Los Angeles and down towards San Diego and San Francisco, and then this is where we run into the mess. Light snows right now, Minneapolis, Rochester, back on toward Milwaukee. It's actually been snowing pretty good, and then we head on into this mess, and that's where it gets actually pretty ugly. We'll take a quick look. This is all snow from Poughkeepsie on through Hartford and Boston, and we've already seen the heavy snows in New York City. Could still be snowing heavily over the next several hours before some of that freezing rain starts to move on in, down toward Harrisburg and Hagerstown. This is where the freezing rain line is right now, down through D.C. Not a very nice day to be on the roadways. Let's take a look at the forecast as we head on into Tuesday afternoon. We're looking at the freezing rain band actually to continue to expand on northward. And as I mentioned, some of that freezing rain could start to work its way on towards Philadelphia and New York City with rain showers just along the front and to the south. We could even see some isolated thunderstorms breaking out later on today across the Dallas area. And eventually, as we head on through tomorrow, what's going to happen is this cold air is going to be southward. And in Dallas, where we're going to see possibly some thunderstorms today, we could see some freezing rain or some snow tomorrow. So it is just a mess. Basically, everybody's talking about some kind of precipitation today. Here's an area of 1 inch plus as far as rain is concerned, and we could see, once again, some heavy snows breaking out around New York City and back on toward the west. Heavy snows for the mountains of the west from Colorado back onto the Wasatch Range. We could see possibly a foot of snow or better. Temperatures very cold to the north still, and we'll continue to see that cold air diving southward. So the beautiful weather that we're seeing in the southeast, well, you're going to enjoy it again tomorrow. 70s around Atlanta and possibly some 80s into the southern parts of Georgia, but we can say goodbye to that as we head on through the latter part of the week. And then as we head on into Friday, we're going to see temperatures trying to rebound a bit across central parts of Texas right on into Sunday afternoon. Looking at precipitation on Thursday, rain and snow across the north, or the southeast, I should say. We're looking at light snow across the north, and then everything kind of heads eastward by Saturday. And here comes the next system, unfortunately, we have to deal with across the west for more rains for California. Well,
coming up, a look at your local radar. But first, the current local conditions. Regional conditions. Your your local 36-hour forecast from the National Weather Service. The extended forecast. Your local radar showing any precipitation and its movement during the past 90 minutes. Intensity is indicated by the color code at the top of the screen.